What allowance? The entire dining table froze when Rebecca's words cut through the noise. Her father's smile dropped instantly. Her stepmother's fork clinked against the plate, and her siblings exchanged guilty looks. For years, Rebecca believed she was just unlucky, the one child who never received anything. But in that moment, the truth slipped out, and the silence in the room was louder than any scream. Before I continue, make sure you hit that subscribe button and share this story, because what's about to unfold will shock you even more. Her dad cleared his throat, trying to act normal, but his face betrayed him. "Rebecca, you always got your share," he said, voice trembling. Her stepsister smirked, whispering, "Oh, she really didn't know." Rebecca's heart pounded. Didn't know what? She looked around the table, her eyes darting between her father and stepmother. "What are you talking about? I never got a single dollar from you," she said, her voice rising. But instead of answers, she saw smirks, like everyone had been in on a joke she was never told. Her father finally sighed, his hand rubbing his forehead. "This isn't the time," he muttered. But Rebecca leaned forward, her voice sharp. "No. If I was supposed to get something, I want to know where it went." The tension cracked. Her stepmother's smile widened, and in a tone dripping with sarcasm, she said, "Sweetheart, you really think life was fair in this house?" Rebecca's chest tightened. Something inside her whispered that this dinner wasn't about family. It was about secrets. And she was about to uncover all of them. Rebecca's hands shook under the table, but she forced herself to keep her chin high. "What allowance?" she repeated, this time louder, making her father shift uncomfortably in his chair. He didn't answer. Instead, her stepbrother Daniel laughed and said, "You mean Dad never told you? That's hilarious." Her stomach sank. Everyone's faces were saying the same thing. She had been left out on purpose. "Told me what?" Rebecca demanded. Her father finally spoke, his tone clipped. "When your mother passed, I set aside money for all of you. A monthly allowance. It was to make sure you had something for yourself." The room spun. Rebecca's siblings had new phones, cars, vacations. She always thought she was just the unlucky one who had to earn everything. Now it made sense. Her share had been stolen. "So where's mine?" she asked, her voice cold. Her stepmother leaned back, swirling her wine. "Don't be dramatic, Rebecca. You lived here, ate here, went to school. Isn't that enough?" The others chuckled under their breath, their forks scraping against plates like knives twisting inside her. Rebecca clenched her fists. "Enough? That was my mother's money!" Her voice cracked, but her anger kept it steady. For the first time, she saw her father flinch. His hand trembled on the table, his eyes refusing to meet hers. It was managed differently," he muttered. Managed differently. The phrase echoed like poison. Every pair of eyes at the table was watching her now, waiting to see if she'd break down. But Rebecca didn't. She leaned back in her chair, forcing a bitter smile. "So you've all been living off me this whole time," she whispered. Her stepbrother laughed again. "Not off you, just without you." The cruelty in his voice was worse than any slap. Rebecca felt the walls closing in. But deep down, something was awakening inside her. A fire she never let them see before. Because if they thought she was weak, they were about to learn how wrong they were. Rebecca didn't sleep that night. She sat on her bed, staring at the old photo of her mother on the nightstand, her mind racing. Allowance, trust fund. Managed differently. The words circled in her head like a curse. She pulled out her laptop, her hands trembling as she searched for any trace of what her mother had left behind. At first there was nothing. No records, no bank statements, nothing under her name. But then she remembered something. Her mother's lawyer, Mr. Grant. He had attended the funeral years ago. A kind man with gray hair who had pressed a card into Rebecca's hand, whispering, "Call me if you ever need help." She had kept that card hidden in a jewelry box. Tonight she pulled it out. The next morning Rebecca called. Her voice was low but firm. "Mr. Grant, it's Rebecca. My mom's daughter. I need to know the truth. Did she leave something for me?" There was a pause on the other end. Then his voice, cautious but steady. "Rebecca, your mother set up a trust fund worth more than most people see in a lifetime. It was meant for you, only you. Don't tell me you never received it." Rebecca's breath caught in her throat. A lifetime. She gripped the phone so tightly her knuckles turned white. "I never got a penny," she whispered. Mr. Grant's sigh was heavy. "Then someone's been lying to you. That money is still active, and according to records, it's been redirected." Her blood boiled. Redirected. Stolen. She didn't need to guess who was behind it. Her father and his new family. Suddenly, every new car, every vacation photo, every smug smile at the dinner table made sense. They weren't just mocking her. They were living off her inheritance. Rebecca's voice hardened. "Can you prove it?" "Yes," Mr. Grant replied firmly. "But it will shake your entire family apart." Rebecca stared out the window, her reflection staring back at her with burning eyes. "Good," she whispered. "That's exactly what I want." A week later, the perfect chance arrived. Rebecca's father announced a grand dinner at their mansion to celebrate his stepdaughter Lily's engagement. The whole family would be there. Her father, her stepmother, Lily, even distant relatives. Rebecca knew this was the moment. She met privately with Mr. Grant 2 days before the dinner. He handed her a thick folder, the kind that smelled of ink and truth. Inside were records, bank transfers, signatures, all pointing to one fact. Her inheritance had been siphoned off, funneled into accounts controlled by her father and stepmother. They had been using her future to fund Lily's luxury. Rebecca's hands shook as she closed the folder. "This is enough to ruin them," she said. Mr. Grant's gaze was steady. "It's also enough to reclaim everything that's yours. But once you expose this, there's no turning back. They'll never forgive you." Rebecca's lips curved into a bitter smile. "They never treated me like family anyway." The night of the dinner arrived. The mansion glittered with chandeliers, laughter echoed through the halls, and Lily, in a sparkling gown, basked in the attention. Her father raised a toast, his voice booming with pride. "Tonight, we celebrate Lily's bright future." That was Rebecca's cue. She stood up, her chair scraping against the marble floor, the sound slicing through the chatter. All eyes turned to her. "Funny," Rebecca said, her voice calm but sharp. "How bright her future looks, considering it's built on money that was never hers." Gasps rippled across the room. Her father's face paled. "Rebecca, sit down. Don't ruin this night." But she didn't sit. Instead, she laid the folder on the table, pushing it toward the center where everyone could see. "This is proof. Proof that my mother left me a fortune and you stole it. Every car, every vacation, every gift Lily flaunts was paid for with my inheritance." Silence crushed the room. Lily's smile cracked. Her stepmother's hands trembled, and her father's jaw clenched as relatives began to murmur. Rebecca's heart pounded, but her voice didn't waver. "You tried to erase me, to make me small. But I know the truth now, and so does everyone else." The tension snapped like glass. The dinner was no longer a celebration. It had become a courtroom, and Rebecca had just won the first battle. The room exploded into chaos. Relatives whispered harshly, some in disbelief, others nodding with disgust as they scanned the documents Rebecca had laid out. Lily pushed back her chair so fast it toppled. "This is ridiculous!" Lily shrieked, her voice trembling. "She's jealous. She's always been jealous." Rebecca's stepmother shot up, her carefully composed mask cracking. "How dare you bring lies into this house? Your mother's money was barely enough to cover your needs. We've done nothing but take care of you." Rebecca's laugh was cold. "Take care of me? You left me in hand-me-downs while Lily wore gowns worth more than my tuition. You stole everything that belonged to me and paraded it as if it was yours." Her father slammed his fist on the table. "Enough! You're trying to humiliate me in front of my family?" But Rebecca leaned closer, her eyes steady. "No, father. You humiliated yourself when you betrayed your own daughter. Tonight, everyone simply gets to see the truth." One of the uncles, who had been quietly reviewing the papers, cleared his throat. "These aren't lies. The signatures match. The accounts are real. I recognize some of these transfers. I helped handle the family's finances years ago." The murmurs turned into condemnation. Aunts, uncles, cousins, all casting accusatory glances at her father and stepmother. Lily's face turned scarlet. She lunged at Rebecca, but Rebecca stepped aside calmly, letting her stumble. "You thought you'd always be the chosen one," Rebecca said, her voice sharp as steel. "But the empire you live in was built on stolen ground, and it ends tonight." Her father's voice faltered for the first time, desperation replacing anger. "Rebecca, we can settle this quietly." "Don't do this! You'll destroy the family." Rebecca lifted her chin. "You destroyed it the day you decided greed was more important than blood." The weight of her words silenced the hall. Rebecca knew she had shifted the balance forever. Her father's power was broken. Lily's shine was gone, and for the first time, she was no longer the shadow in the corner. As the night drew to its close, the truth hung heavy in the air like an unshakable storm. Relatives began to walk away from the table one by one, whispering bitterly about the betrayal, casting shameful glances at Rebecca's father and stepmother. The once proud man sat slumped in his chair, stripped of dignity, while Lily wept uncontrollably, her dreams of power crumbling into dust. Rebecca gathered the documents back into her folder with calm precision. She didn't shout, didn't gloat. Her silence spoke louder than any triumph. Turning to the hall, she said, "I don't need revenge. Justice is enough, and tonight, justice has been served." She walked out of the mansion without looking back. For the first time in years, her shoulders felt lighter. The chains of betrayal had finally broken, and the empire she had built on her own stood untouched, stronger than ever. Behind her, the family that once tried to erase her was left to drown in the ruins of their lies. Rebecca stepped into the night air, breathing deeply, as if the world itself was offering her freedom. Her journey had been long and painful, but now, she wasn't the forgotten daughter anymore. She was her own legacy.